So it's been some time since I made my Tofu60 Redux build video, and I've decided to give an update to this board all this time later. For this board in particular, not much has changed since my previous video, and all of the parts that I used in that build I am still using today. The black anodized case along with the aluminum plate that came with the board when purchased are still going strong and have held up pretty nicely. The foam, of course, is still in use, and I've had zero issues when it comes to any overly pingy or excessive noise radiating from the board. And then, of course, the PCB I'm still using, which is the DZ60 ANSI RGB V2, of which I did have some issues with the lighting, and it seems that whenever I have had the backlight turned on, the board itself would just bug out and act as if it was bricked. I would then have to go and reset the board from a different computer just so that I could reset the firmware for VIA, and at first I thought this was kind of a letdown since I had read other comments from other users that had the same board and that had similar issues with this, but for me personally I never really came to a solution since I was pretty much fine without the lighting in the first place. All things considered, it has still been a solid board and has not had anything terribly wrong with it. For the stabilizers, I'm still using the Duroc V2s, and again have stood the test of time, and the tape mod and Krytox lubricant that I put on them has been holding pretty well since. I've also been using the same ACO V3 cream yellow switches, and I was planning to change back to something more tactile such as the Baby Kangaroo 2.0 switches from Gatoron, but still just haven't made the commitment yet as I'm still pretty satisfied with these. The KBD fans keycaps I've been using are still very clean, and I have not noticed any shine or rubbing of the double shot plastic. I also wanted to mention again the nice box and the keycap storage they give you, which has been very solid, and I've had zero issues with it. I had also ended up swapping the cable for something a bit nicer, which is just a braided anchor cable I got off of Amazon for $10, and again, nothing super fancy such as any custom cables, but personally I have been pretty content with this. I'd also read a few comments in regards to KBD Fans' website if they were legit, and yes, I can say that they are, and I just wanted to mention that whenever I made my order a little less than 2 years ago, it was very solid and they had shipped my stuff in roughly 3 days or something similar. The actual packaging and care that they put into making sure that my board was firmly shipped was a nice added gesture, and I have not had anything better in terms of buying experience for anything keyboard related. But of course, much has changed in regards to the shipping and handling of anything overseas, especially in recent times. However, when I made my order, I ended up being charged $20 for the shipping, which seemed like a bit much at first, but I overall still found it to be worth it, at least for the way everything was handled and packaged, which was pretty nice. In the keyboard space, there has been many updates and improvements to the technology. For example, the Hall effect boards such as the Tofu60, which seem quite exciting in terms of their actual performance for gaming. Things such as the Wooting and the revisions made to those boards have all come to the market along with their various competitors, and while quite a bit has changed, maybe for the better, I on the other hand have still been using my tried and true Tofu60 Redux build paired with the DZ60 board, and while I don't benefit from the likes of any Hall effect switches or even opticals for that matter, I still really just enjoy the classic feel of the mechanical switch. If money was no object, I might have just bought the Wooting PCB some time ago to swap for my board simply for the benefit of having Hall effect switches for games like Counter-Strike. But still, I cannot simply justify spending over $130 just for a PCB that still offers a less than ideal sounding keyboard, which to me would make or break a keyboard experience that is satisfying. Opinions do change indeed, and I might even consider buying a Wooting PCB just for the sake of doing so, but overall, I have still been pretty content with my board and have not felt any changes to be necessary. But as always, thanks for watching, and consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel to see more content. Thanks.